Kevin Sidebottom here, speaker, author, and trainer, and I go around and teach sales organizations and leadership teams how to grow trust and influence with their customers and their team members to generate more revenues and higher profits. Today, let's talk about all the steps in the sales process. Now, there's tons of different sales processes out there, and some of them are 7 steps, 9 steps. Mine's 10 steps. Mainly because there's steps after you make the sale that you need to make sure you hit the mark on, or else you're not going to be uber successful. But no matter what process you use, let's go through a few things that you must have in your sales process. Well, the one must thing that they have to do is answer the 5 buying decisions that the customer has. Because if we don't answer those 5 buying decisions, or we get them out of order, guess what's going to happen? We're going to become a commodity. And you know the only differentiating factor in a commodity is price. That means your profits go down, your consistency goes down. So we need to make sure we have the right process answering those questions. So let's go through some of those buying decisions. The first buying decision is the salesperson, you and me. That's right, when we're out there, we need to make sure that they like us. When was the last time you bought something from anybody you just could not stand? Probably never, right? There's never been a product or service that I have wanted so much that I didn't care about the salesperson being a jerk to me. If they were a jerk to me, I went somewhere else. I went to the competitor and I bought from them. So we need to make sure that we're building that likability, because every customer has 3 questions they ask us on every interaction. Do I like you? Do I trust you? And how can you help me? That's right. We need to make sure that we're answering those questions well. And that can be, debunked and defaulted by the area we're in. That's right, the setting we're in. If we're in a noisy subway or somewhere there's loud, high traffic, anxieties will go up and our likability goes down. So if we're going to set our best foot forward, we need to make sure we know where we're meeting people. We also need to learn about them and know who they are as best we can before we meet with them. And if it's someone who just walks in, well, we need to be able to ask the right kind of questions, which I teach in my sales process of the house analogy, how you walk through your CRM correctly and make sure you start building up solid rapport. And let's stop on this. Rapport is not just looking around a room, finding something in common and talking about it. Rapport is really learning about people so much so that they trust you more. That's right, like when you were dating, right? When you go out on a date, you have to build rapport. You have to learn about people. You have to lean in and really focus in on them. So we need to make sure that we're doing that. We also need to make sure we're wearing the right colors, because colors can actually affect likability and trust. That's right. The different scents can also affect it. Yeah, that's right. So I went and got a huge education down in St. Thomas in a room where it was like wall to wall, floor to ceiling of different colognes and perfumes, and they talked about the different personalities and how your activity levels and all that affected which colognes you want to wear, and those things can trigger people. So if we can't do like the predictive index or any of these other kind of personality types studies with people really quickly, which chances are you're not going to be able to, chances are don't wear a different kind of cologne. I mean, don't wear body odor, but smell kind of clean, right? You want refreshing and something that people aren't going to be easily triggered by, okay? So we need to make sure that we're answering all those things. And our customer has 3 types of questions that need to be asked to them. And that is their situation, their issues, and their ramifications. If we can't answer those and get those questions answered, well, we're not going to be able to provide the right solution, and how can we help people? Well, they're not going to move on. So we need to do a whole lot of work in the foundation part of the sales process. And that starts with us, making sure we get the right needs and uncover those. So that way, when we move forward and answer the other buying decisions, we're actually going to be successful. Okay? Now, the second buying decision that they have is the organization we represent. That's right. We may come and go. We might get hit by a bus. But our organization is still going to be there, and they want to be able to know that the organization is going to be there to help them. So we need to ask questions on that too to make sure that we're setting up that our organization is going to support them. All that happens before they actually buy into our product. That's right. That's a third thing. How many times have you gone in and saw someone get our names and then try to immediately sell us on a product or service? Yeah. Product doesn't even come into the third buying decision. So if we're not doing our process correctly, we're not going to be successful. Okay? And then the last couple are the price and the time to buy. So if we get those right, are hopeful we're going to be rewarded on a sale. But we also need to make sure that our customer is super successful. Got about 90 days to actually make them super successful. And if they do become super successful, guess what happens? It's just like when we went to a restaurant and had super service. We couldn't help but rave about it and tell everybody that they need to go to this restaurant. They need to see this person, right? Well, that's what our customers will do for us. They'll actually sell for us. They'll be our own salespeople if we do it right. So make sure whatever you do and whatever process you have, it answers those 5 buying decisions and you're going to be super successful. Also, make sure that they're super successful and overserve them. And you'll be a winning salesperson. All right? If you have any questions or interest in my trainings, the information is down below. If this video was helpful, hit like, share, subscribe, send to somebody you think it might help. That's why I do these videos, is to help you. See you next time.